Welcome back to the Bunkhouse. I'm so proud to introduce you to a very dear friend of mine. I think one of the greatest poets this country has ever known, a great cowboy, a great horseman, and a wonderful human being. And his name is Joel Nelson. He hails from Alpine, Texas. And Joel, thank you for spending the time with us today.
Thank you, Red. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hadn't seen you since February.
That gets to be a long time.
Yeah.
Joel, I know that you're doing a lot of different things. Primarily, you're running some Corianti cattle right now.
That's right.
But was it last year that you got that unbelievable award from our government?
It was 2009. I was fortunate enough to receive a National Heritage Fellowship from the National Endowment for the Arts, and had a fantastic trip to Washington, D.C. with my wife, Sylvia, to receive that honor.
That's fabulous. I'm so proud of you.
Well, it was a humbling experience and a chance to go into the nation's capital and the Library of Congress, and kind of makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up to just be in that setting.
It does, doesn't it? Makes you proud to be an American.
I am very proud to be an American.
Yeah. Your poetry probably portrays the cowboy way of life and what it means with its heritage, traditions, and values better than just about anybody ever has. And do you have a little poem you could do for us?
I've got hours of them, but I'll try to pull out a short one. I wrote this poem somewhere around 25 years ago because I had read in a book that the American cowboy was a character that only lasted for about, 15, 20 years during the trail drive era, and when barbed wire was used to fence the range off, then that was the end of the American cowboy. And I was highly offended at that because I thought he hadn't even begun. So I wrote this poem and I titled it "The Shadow on the Cut Bank" in response to that bit of mistaken writing that I had just read. History wrote his epitaph when barbed wire cut the range while he was but an embryo adjusting to the change, and he was not aborted by the creaking stretch of wire, and the numbers still are legion of the horseback man for hire. His shadow cast at sunrise on some cut bank wall of sand is a mate to the conquistador in Coronado's band. He is steeped in the traditions of those horsemen long ago. He is rumored to be mortal, though he'll not admit it so. Since the glory that was Camelot, with her dragons breathing fire, the hero of the world has been the horseback man for hire. And his glory days aren't over. In spite of what we've read, he is no less than he ever was, no matter what's been said. In the deserts of the high-tech world, he's trailing up his cattle. He will never quit his horses, and he'll never sell his saddle.
That is fabulous. And it is true.
It's just my response to what I read, and I think a lot of people have the misconception that the cowboy days are over, but in a lot of places they're not. Baxter Black said the cowboy's still alive and well, you just can't see him from the interstate.
Yeah, I remember hearing Baxter say that, and it's true. You know, there are a lot of just worlds of young men and women who still love the lifestyle and who still admire it and protect it and preserve it and are still making a living horseback.
That's right. Sylvia and I work cattle pretty regularly, and we go to a cowboy church there at Alpine, and the minister is a good cowboy and his wife is a good hand, and he has 2 teenage boys that are good hands, and his dad's a good hand. And at times we have 3 generations of the Elliots on our cow crew.
I remember that name.
Yeah, it's a
Good
different
cowboys.
Elliot. Yeah, it's a different Elliot, but same name.
Yeah. And out in that country, some of it's so vast, and like out on the 06s when I rode with you several times up in that high country. That's gorgeous country, and it's real cow country, isn't it?
It's real cow country, and we'd have a 16 or 18 man cowboy crew, but we were scattered out so far apart that you thought you were the only one in the pasture at times.
You did a poem for me one time that Bruce Kiskadden wrote, standing out on the edge of that great country, and Wilford Brimley was with us, and I'll never forget it. And I'm going to read that on one of our shows before this season is over. It's called A Time to Decide.
Yes, sir.
But I'll never forget that day standing out there with you. It was quite spectacular, and it was a very moving moment. And the cowboy poetry movement, Joel, has been important to all of us. It created a platform for a lot of us to not only make a living, but to express ourselves. And I'll never forget that first year at Elko. And then you actually formed the Texas Cowboy Poetry Gathering, which will soon be 25 years old.
Have our 25th gathering in late February this coming year.
Now, if you folks would like to learn more about Texas Cowboy Poets and the Texas Cowboy Poetry Gathering, go out to Alpine, Texas. And in 2011, what are the dates?
I could not tell you the exact dates. It'll be the last weekend in February.
Last weekend in February in 2011. And it's always that same kind of, same time period. And it's a wonderful experience. Not only is the country great, but you'll get to hear some of the greatest poets the state of Texas especially has to offer. And it's a wonderful event. And Joel, I can't tell you how pleased I am that you came to visit us and did a poem for us. I can't wait to hear some new ones you got working.
I got one going right now.
And I can't wait for you to send it to me. And I just want you to be careful and continue to do what you're doing. And I treasure your friendship.
Likewise,
And
my
I
friend.
look forward to seeing you soon.